going on, my Earthling friends? By any chance, did anybody that went to go see this film last night look up to the skies and say, that cloud has not moved an inch? Because I certainly did. I'm going to get into all the spoilers for Nope. There have been questions that are nagging me that maybe some of you aren't able to answer for me. There are things that I like that I'm going to be getting into, so this is going to be a heavy spoiler review. If you have not seen my spoiler-free review, go ahead and check it out. What are you waiting for? Let's go ahead and talk about spoilers in Nope. So one of the things that that is beginning to nag on me, I talked about this in my spoiler-free review, that there is a little thing that happens to Steven Yeun's character when he was young. One of the things that happened when he was young, he was on set of his TV show that was a really big hit, but then a monkey went loose and started just beating the living shit out of everybody, and there was no explanation about what happened to that monkey, about what caused him to go extremely nuts. And the film starts off with the aftermath of that accident, and it begins to raise questions about what the hell just happened. What the hell is happening here? What the hell is this monkey doing? Why is this monkey bleeding all of a sudden? And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, something has to do with the aliens that caused this monkey to go loose. And we don't get the answer to that. I'm not sure what Peele was trying to go for in that scene, in that little side plot. A lot of people have interpreted as just the way that media perceives accidents and how people that are involved in those accidents are benefiting from that accident, and that's what Steven Yeun's character is mostly doing in this film. He was a child star, and he's benefiting off of the accident because that's what a lot of people want to see, and that is probably what caused this scene to happen, because this scene was not in the film, where you see a lot of people running away from something horrible and you see somebody walking towards it. And I'm not sure if it was that guy that'll set the monkey off and loose. I'm not too sure what happens, but it might look like it's going on in the parking lot of the studio. So I thought it was going to do something to do with aliens, and apparently it doesn't. There's really nothing that comes out of it. I think that was one of the issues that I had with the film. It was just that side plot, and I'm not sure if it was just because he was trying to do some kind of commentary that I missed out on, or if he was just doing it for the shock value, because it was extremely shocking, because you see the scene play out, but then it cuts to black, and all you hear is just the chaos that is happening, and you don't get to see it. And that is something that I talked about in my review for The Curse that came out earlier in the year, that there is something terrifying about the things that you cannot see. And just hearing the commotion and letting your imagination run wild, that was something that was very effective, and I thought Peele did a really good job of giving us great tension and letting our imagination run wild whenever we could have. But it's also one of the downfalls of the film, because it really doesn't amount to anything. It doesn't really go for anything. I think there's just some commentary that I probably missed out, that some of you guys catched on to, that I probably missed out. But that was something that really bothered me. That was something that was definitely not needed, even though it was great for shock value. And you see Steven Yeun's character fist bump the monkey, but then out of nowhere the monkey gets shot by cops or security, and I think that's where a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck just happened? And I think that was one of the issues that I had with Steven Yeun's character, because we don't get to know a lot about his character. The only thing we get to know is that he was a child star, and now he's running this little amusement park type thing that you can now visit at Universal Studios. They made it perfectly clear at the end of the credits. It's a family owned thing, and so he has his kids there, and you really don't get to know much, except for the fact that he came across the aliens 6 months, which was around the time that Daniel Kaluuya's character's grandfather died, and had eyed objects shut down like meteorites. So around that time is when the aliens uh, arrived, I guess, or he found out about them. But it also raises a lot of questions about. Okay, so he found out about these aliens 6 months ago, but does he know exactly what the hell they're doing? Like, does he know that either they're from the interpretation from the last time that we see people go up into the spaceship? Sorry, scooting back a little bit. It looked like they might be transforming into horses because apparently that's the one thing that aliens are going after as well. Is when we see everybody there watching Stephen Ewan's character's performance, Jupe Hill, I believe, Jupe. Um, when they see his performance, then everybody starts getting like sucked up and abducted, and it raises a lot of questions like, does he know what's going on? How does he know what these aliens want? How was he able to communicate with them? And it just raises a lot of questions about his characters and his motivations. It really doesn't have a lot to, it's not really, it raises a lot more questions than it answers. And I think that was the biggest gripe that I had overnight about this film is, does his character know what the aliens are after? Like, does he know what their mission is? Because there was a theory going on that I saw that it was going to be aliens transforming humans into horses, which was a little bit kind of reminiscent to Sorry to Bother You, which is why I wasn't very married to that theory, which is why I really didn't want that to actually happen, because it would remind me too much of that movie, also starring Stephen Ewan. But it also still raised a lot of questions about what these aliens' goals are. Like, well, it kind of answers because I can't remember who character. I think it was Michael Wincott's character said that the aliens are there because it's their home and they want everybody to know. I believe that's what he said. So, going on that basis and seeing the blood spray over the Hayward house, it still raised a lot of questions about his characters and the motivations. One of the things that I was really disappointed at was the fact that we didn't get to see any aliens in this film. I was really disappointed because I wanted to see what they looked like, not what they probably looked like. What Jupe merchandise looked like. I was really disappointed, mostly because I wanted to see what the aliens, and when we get that amazing, very tense bar scene with Daniel Kaluuya, thinking that he's about ready to confront the aliens, you see somebody creeping up from the shadows, and you see another head pop out, and you see him going backwards, and the alien following him, and then out of nowhere there's a shot where it's Daniel Kaluuya and the alien mask, and then it just turns out to be Jupe's kids because they're pissed off that Kiki Palmer's character stole their horse, their little fake horse with a big dick. But that was really disappointing. I really wanted to see what the aliens were going to look like because that was one of the big hooks in the trailer. I'm like, oh, we're going to see the aliens. This is going to be creepy. And then it just turns out to be nothing. That was really disappointing for me. Michael Wincott's character really doesn't have a lot of scenes in the film. The scenes that you see in the trailer is the only thing that you see of him. And that was kind of disappointing. So I kind of wish we removed his character from the film entirely because it didn't really amount to anything. Brandon Pereira is one of the standouts for me. He was a great comedic relief and they used him very well when he was needed, but I thought he did fantastic. It was just mostly the things that I have questions, and then I think the ending of the film with the way that the spaceship ultimately looks like when it's trying to abduct people and it's like floundering like a big flower. I'm sorry, but I was fucking hungry. But it kind of looked like a tortilla to me. It looked like a tortilla. in a spaceship form with like blankets around it. That's exactly what it kind of looked like for me. And it had a little hole that you see in the trailer, and I was really intrigued by the way that I like the visual effect of the spaceships, because I think it looked very sci-fi-ish. Sci-fi-ish? Is that a word? Sci-fi-ish? Very extraterrestrial. It's what I imagine what spaceship looks like. But I think the way that it looked, I thought it looked fantastic. And the way that the sound design, the way that it sounded, I saw it in IMAX, and let me tell you something, it was fantastic. I was at the edge of my seat. If you have somebody that falls asleep easily, that shit will wake them up fast, because that woke me up. And there were some great moments. Kind of sounded like the spaceships from War of the Worlds, kind of. But I thought the design was fantastic. I thought everything else about it was fun and exciting. But it was just those little issues that I had that I wasn't able to talk in my spoiler review. It's the monkey spy plot. I wanted to see what caused this monkey to go on a fucking rampage. How Jupe was able to communicate with these aliens, what he wanted. Because the first time that you see people getting abducted from afar, you see this in the trailer, and you just see the lights go out from that little amusement park type thing. The way that the sound design of the people screaming and just going up in the air at like dust, that had the hairs on my back spiking up. I'm like, this is so fucking creepy and effective. And the way that it moves throughout the entire house when the power goes out, when Keke Palmer's inside, and you see the alien just fly away, that is so creepy and effective that I was like just taken by it all. And I think that's where Peele's ambition comes in, is the fact that he's trying different things, but sometimes I think he's married so much to his ideas that he's wanting to leave audiences more with questions about what's actually going on, because that's something that you saw in Us. A lot of people had a lot of logic issues about how the tunnels were created, how everybody is getting duplicated. And in this film, I kind of wanted a little bit more answers about what are we getting with these aliens? Where are we going with them? Because it hinted that they might be getting transformed, but other things, it might actually just been able to, some might be able to translate it to people just getting killed by getting suffocated. I think that's what it was actually going for, because that's what it looked like from when Keke Palmer's character just lets go of the juke balloon. That's what I'm calling it, the juke balloon. And then the aliens, for some strange reason, thinks it's an actual person. That actually didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, really? Like, you're going to get tricked by a fucking hot air balloon? You're going to get tricked by a hot air balloon. Like, you're supposed to be so far advanced that the sight of just anybody that looks like anything is going to get your fucking attention. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. The way that it just popped. Both the balloon and the alien. The spaceship. Like, okay. So it definitely isn't very well advanced, and it really isn't an alien or a spaceship. It's more of a fucking blanket with a hot air balloon disguised as the spaceship. And then they have that little question about maybe it's not a spaceship. That's when my brain started to work its engines, and I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere, but we don't. And ultimately, this film just left me very cold by the end of it, because I wanted more answers. And the more that I think about it, I'm probably going to watch it again one more time, just so I can see what I can take away on a second experience. There was just a lot of questions that needed to be answered that really didn't make a lot of sense throughout the entire film. And even though there are great moments of tension, and I know a lot of people have problems with Daniel Kaluuya's character being very stoic and very quiet. I think it works for his character because I think he's still holding on to that pain of seeing of his grandfather dying, and a lot of people, some people take a long ass time to grieve, and a lot of people will just stay in that mental state like what just happened. But I didn't mind Daniel Kaluuya's character in this film. I thought he was fantastic. I think Daniel Kaluuya did great with the material that he was given. There were some great moments of tension and great jump scares in here, and the chemistry between him and Keke Palmer was fantastic. It was just those things that really bothered the living hell out of me because I just wanted a little bit more answer and a little bit more clarity, and I think that it was just so, and it was so married to its own idea that it really didn't come through all of it, and I kind of just wanted some more answers. Those are my spoilerific thoughts and or questions depending on how you want to perceive this video. But what are your spoilerific thoughts about this film? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are the things that actually bugged the living shit out of you? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And abduct that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more reviews. Probe that bell notification so you get notified when a review goes up or a video. And I will see you guys next time on Josie's Reviews.